In the last video with the high compression turbo Miata, we installed an epic coil and plug conversion kit from Humlink Modifications. Unfortunately, when we went out on a test drive, this happened. And well, we're picking up right where I left off. Just got back from that test drive where it developed some sort of bad internal engine noise. It's loud. I mean, it maybe doesn't come through on camera, but it is loud. The one glimmer of hope is that it does kind of sound like it's coming from the top end. So I'm gonna do a couple things. Number one, I'm gonna pull off the valve cover. That's easy. Number two, I'm going to drain the oil and pull off the oil filter, cut that open. If there's a bunch of metal in the oil, probably bearing. If the oil looks fine, then hopefully we can find something in the top end. Honestly, actually, I'm gonna look at the top end first. I put a fan on here, try to get this thing cooled off a bit. Working on hot engines is not fun. Working on hot blown up engines is even worse.
This is lit.
At first glance, the head looks fine. All the valve springs are good. All the lifters seem tight. Nothing else is loose. Gonna drain the oil. If we don't find anything in the oil, then maybe I will more thoroughly check the valve drain. But, I mean, I feel like if it was that loud of a noise, we'd know. What's in the box? It's totally fine. So the oil looks good. The top end looks good off the, just looking at it. Pulled all the plugs look good. I looked into the cylinders with my little inspection camera. All that looked good. So I think I'm gonna go ahead, pull the cams and more thoroughly look at all the lifters. These cars have hydraulic lifters. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad, I don't know if that means they can fail or what. Hunter claims they failed on his car. So we'll see. So I'm gonna put it top dead center, take the timing belt off, pull the cams. Wait a second. I found the issue. Uh-oh. Yep, found it. Look, all the bolts, two of the bolts are missing. This entire cam is spun and all the bolts are snapped or backed out.
You jump timing?
I mean, no, these are adjustable. But the point is that the nuts fell off. And look, you can see it scratching the cover. See that? Let's go. So these are the bolts holding the cam gear together. As you can tell, they're worn down and they're very hot. So yeah, that was that. Got the cam gear fixed, new bolts. The timing cover is a little fucked behind it, but we caught it before it got too bad. Now I gotta put the valve cover in, coils back on, oil back in, and then we can continue with the fuel system. And now, of course, it is time to put in some Pennzoil, ultra platinum full synthetic. Now, in case you guys didn't know, you've been living under a rock, I run Pennzoil in all my vehicles, and specifically their ultra platinum race trusted full synthetic. If you have a properly built and tuned engine and you take it to a track day, this stuff will hold up to that. Hence why we're putting it in the high compression 1.6 that thankfully is not blown up. If you guys are interested in getting Pennzoil, you want to learn more, I'll have a link in the description and up in the cards. I'm excited to see what both this thing and the truck, which also has Pennzoil in it, makes on the dyno in the next two videos. All right, let's hear it not tick, please. Thank you. Next. So in addition to upgrading the ignition system, we are upgrading the fuel system from Radium. Radium makes a bunch of awesome stuff for Miatas, and specifically 1.6 Miatas. They aren't 1.8 Master Race. They know that the 1.6 is better than the 1.8. So they make products for it, which is awesome. I still am running the factory fuel rail and fuel pressure regulator on this car. How that stuff has kept up, I don't know, but it probably won't keep up much longer. When we tuned it the other day, it was at like 80% duty cycle, which this stuff won't help a whole lot with that, but it will help a little bit because we can turn the fuel pressure up. So we have 1.6 liter Miata fuel rail, beautiful piece of art. We have their really cool fuel pressure regulator. For one, this thing is tiny. Secondly, it goes directly on the fuel rail, so you don't have to mount it on the firewall or somewhere else. Thirdly, it is a toolless adjustment, which means you can just turn a knob on the top to raise or decrease your fuel pressure. You don't need to get a 10mm wrench and Allen key and mess around with it. Freaking awesome. In addition to this, we got their fuel filter kit. So we'll be putting that in. In addition to that, we have a really cool new product that they make, which is this. This is a drop-in, bolt-in aftermarket fuel hanger for the factory tank. Why is that cool? Well, it allows you to put 2 huge fuel pumps in your factory tank, so you can keep your factory tank and make like, 800 horsepower. You can also easily convert it to AN lines. Right now, we've got hose barbs because I'm just running the stock lines. They work. It also allows you to do some staged pumping and cool wiring stuff. They sent me a bigger fuel pump with it, so we'll be able to flow a little bit more fuel. But for the dyno session that is literally tomorrow, I don't need it. And since, I thought this engine was blowing up and I wasted a bunch of time making sure it wasn't, I don't have time, most likely, to install this. So we're gonna put this on the back burner until a video or two, and we're gonna focus on the fuel rail. So the fuel rail is in, we got the lines ran, the regulator is in, both the lines connect back to the stock hard lines. Another cool thing about the regulator, comes with 3 different ways to connect your vacuum source to it. AN, it's got a little AN bung. These are like the push connect fittings that race cars use. Or if you're boring like me, just a little vacuum nipple. But hey, I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm really impressed with all the quality of these fittings. They're all like these swivel joints, so you can put them on. They don't have to be exactly pointing in the right direction. You can swivel them around. Same thing with the regulator. Look, it's tight, and look, it swivels around. All right, everything on the engine is installed, and that went a lot quicker than I expected. So, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna go ahead and try to finish this fuel system and install the Radium hanger. But the problem is that it's in there, the tiny dark car. But the first step is to remove the factory hanger. There's the factory unit. Very clean. I forgot how clean this car was. So simple. Simple, easy. Look at that fuel tank, bro. People say EDA5 is dirty, bro. They tripping, man. Ow. Just gotta hold it here until it drips dry. I ran out of shop towels and microfibers, so Chipotle napkins are my current drying and cleaning devices. It's not good. It's not good. Took me 5 minutes to get out the old stock one, so that's awesome. Just looking at it, you can see that the Radium one, exact same bolt pattern, exact same top, so it just bolts right in. A couple other things I didn't realize about this, it acts as a mini surge tank as well, because it has a little cup on the bottom of it where the fuel pump sits, and the return line from the rail feeds into that fuel pump. And so this is going to fix the fuel slosh issue that we had. Remember when we freaking lost our downforce battles just because I didn't bring any fuel? Yeah, well, this is gonna fix that. So now what we have to do, we swap over the factory fuel level sender, put the new fuel pump in, put the sock on, do some wiring, drop it in the tank. So here's the finished product. We got our factory fuel level sender, our beefy pump in the little surge tank thing, feed line, return line, all the wiring ran. As you can tell on the top it's marked fuel level, pump 1, pump 2, you can even use brushless pumps. And there are quick disconnect fittings for the feed and return. But for now we have to put this in and then wire the chassis side. Because I'm gonna go ahead and put this pump on a relay finally, so it's not using the factory wiring. Hope I'm not forgetting anything. So I was a dummy. I don't have a relay, so I couldn't wire it up to a relay, so I just wired it up using the factory wiring for now. There it is. Looks beautiful. You ready, Hunter? Yeah. Hit it. So you can see the pressure gauge right there, and as I just turn the knob, it increases the fuel pressure. So we're gonna set it to about 60 pounds of base fuel pressure. The seats were great when I was skinny. When I was skinny and in a high, like, didn't care about the harnesses. Honestly, the seats don't bother me that much. It's the harnesses that bother me. It's super rich accelerating, which is a good thing. It means that the increased fuel pressure is working, but it means the tune's a little off. Very rich. Like 9 to 1. That's pretty fun. The flat foot shifting on this thing is awesome. Well, it's working great. It feels way smoother. Still feels pretty healthy even though the tune's way off too. So that is sick. So there we are. Hello?
Yeah, this is Kirk. You might be in for right.
Hi. Okay, fantastic. You hear that, boys? 45 minutes for the bottle delivery. The Radium fuel system is installed. I want to give a huge thanks to Radium for sending out all those parts for the car. If you guys are interested in anything you saw in this video, I'll have a link down in the description to Radium below. In the next video, we're going to bring mileage back to the dyno. We're going to max out this bigger turbo and hopefully make as close to 400 wheel horsepower as we can. Keep in mind, right now it's making like 290, 280 wheel horsepower. So we're hoping for about 100 more horsepower. And let me tell you, it's gonna be pretty awesome. This thing's already a rocket ship. It already struggles for traction, as you could see, and it's just gonna be better. Of course, if you want to watch that video ahead of schedule, you can click up there, become a patron. That greatly supports the channel, gives you access to early videos, and gives you access to exclusive content. So thank you for everyone who does that. I'll see you later. Goodbye.